What if I told you that the person hurting your peace the most may not be your boss, your partner, your family, or even your enemies? What if the real thief of your peace is anger itself? Think about that for a moment. How many hours have you lost replaying an argument in your mind? How many nights have you spent imagining what you should have said? How much energy have you given to people who may not even be thinking about you anymore? The truth is that anger rarely hurts only the person we are angry with. More often, it hurts us first. It steals our sleep. It steals our focus. It steals our happiness. And sometimes, it steals years of our lives, yet Buddhist monks have spent centuries discovering a different way to live, a way to remain calm even when criticized, a way to remain centered even when life becomes unfair, a way to protect inner peace without becoming weak. In today's journey, you will discover 5 powerful monk habits that can help stop 90% of anger within just 10 days of consistent practice, not by suppressing emotions, not by pretending everything is okay, but by transforming the way you respond to life itself. And stay with me until the end, because the final affirmation sequence may completely change how you experience anger from this day forward. Let's begin with a simple question. Why does anger feel so strong? Why can one comment ruin an entire day? Why can one disagreement stay in our minds for weeks? The answer is deeper than most people realize. Anger often appears when reality does not match our expectations. Someone disrespects us. Someone disappoints us. Someone behaves unfairly. Something happens that we believe should not have happened. And in that moment, the mind begins to resist reality. The mind says, "This shouldn't be happening. They shouldn't have done that. This is unfair." And suddenly a spark becomes a fire. The monks understood something extraordinary. Most anger is not created by the event itself. It is created by the story we build. Around the event, 2 people can experience the exact same situation. One remains calm. The other becomes furious. Why? Because the event is not creating the suffering. The interpretation is. This understanding becomes the foundation for everything that follows. Because once you understand where anger comes from, you can begin to transform it. There is an ancient story about a monk walking through a village. As he passed through the marketplace, an angry man began shouting insults. The man mocked him, criticized him, humiliated him in front of others. Yet, the monk remained calm. He listened. Quietly, he smiled gently, and he continued, walking, confused. A young student later asked him, "Master, how did you stay calm when that man insulted you?" The monk replied, "If someone offers you a gift and you refuse to accept it, who does the gift belong to?" The student answered, "It remains with the person who offered it." The monk smiled. Exactly. The insults remained with the man who offered them. What a powerful lesson. Most people immediately accept every insult, every criticism, every negative opinion. They carry it, replay it, and suffer because of it. Monks learn a different approach. They understand that not every emotional gift needs to be accepted. Not every opinion deserves a place in your heart. Not every criticism deserves your energy. And perhaps the next time someone says something hurtful, you can ask yourself, do I really need to carry this? Or can I simply let it remain with the person who offered it? This is the first monk habit, and it may be the most important. Pause before reacting. Notice that I did not say suppress your emotions. I did not say ignore your feelings. I said, pause. There is a huge difference. Most anger lives in the gap between stimulus and response. Something happens, then we react. Instantly, we speak without thinking. We send the message. We raise our voice, we make the decision, and later, we regret. Monks train themselves to expand that gap. When anger appears, they pause, they breathe, they observe, they allow awareness to arrive before action. Even a few seconds can change everything. Imagine standing beside a river. The water is moving quickly. If you jump in immediately, the current carries you away. But if you stand on the bank and observe, you gain perspective. Anger works the same way. The moment you pause, you stop being controlled by the emotion. You begin controlling your response. Today, Practice this simple ritual. Whenever anger appears, take 3 slow breaths before speaking. 3 breaths, nothing more. You may be amazed at how much damage those 3 breaths can prevent. Let's be honest. Most people already know anger can be harmful, but few truly understand its hidden cost. Anger drains mental energy. It drains emotional energy. It drains spiritual energy. Have you ever noticed how exhausted you feel after a day of being angry? Even if nothing physically demanding happened, that exhaustion is real. Your body releases stress, hormones. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tighten, your nervous system remains on high alert. The body prepares for battle, but often there is no battle, only thoughts, only stories, only mental replaying, and meanwhile, your energy disappears. Monks understand that energy is sacred. Every moment spent feeding anger is energy unavailable for joy, unavailable for creativity, unavailable for love, unavailable for growth. This realization changes priorities. Instead of asking, how can I win this argument? You begin asking, is this worth my peace? That single question has the power to transform your life because many battles are simply too expensive. The price is your inner peace, and peace is far too valuable to waste. Before we continue to the second monk habit, let's practice something together, if possible. Relax your shoulders. Take a slow breath in and a slow breath out. Now imagine standing on a mountain at sunrise. The air feels cool. The sky stretches endlessly before you. Everything feels still. Everything feels peaceful now. Imagine your anger as a cloud floating in the distance. Notice something important. You are not the cloud. You are the sky. The cloud may be dark. The cloud may be intense. The cloud may be moving quickly, but it is not. You simply observe it, watch it, move. Watch it, shift. Watch it slowly drift across the horizon. Now silently repeat these words. I'm larger than this emotion. I choose peace over reaction. I allow anger to pass through me. I remain calm and aware. Take another slow breath. And another. Notice the space that is beginning to appear. This space is where freedom begins. Because anger cannot control a mind that knows how to observe, and in the next part, you will discover a powerful practice that teaches why expectations create anger and how releasing them can make you calmer, lighter, and far more peaceful. One of the greatest sources of anger is expectation, not reality expectation. Think about it. We expect people to understand us. We expect people to be fair. We expect people to keep their promises. We expect life to unfold according to our plans. And when reality fails to meet those expectations, frustration begins to grow. Eventually, frustration becomes anger. The monks discovered something powerful. The less attached you become to expectations, the less vulnerable you become to anger. This does not mean lowering your standards. It does not mean accepting poor behavior. It simply means understanding that people will often act according to their level of awareness, not according to your expectations. Imagine holding a handful of sand. The tighter you squeeze, the more sand slips through your fingers. The same thing happens when we try to control everything around us. The more we demand that life unfold exactly as we want, the more frustrated we become. Monks learn to hold life gently. They make plans, they take action, but they remain flexible. They understand that peace is more valuable than being right. And this understanding leads directly to the second monk habit. Release unrealistic expectations. The next time someone disappoints you, pause and ask yourself, am I angry because of what happened? Or am I angry because reality did not match my expectation? That question alone can dissolve an enormous amount of anger. There is another lesson monks teach that surprises many people. The difficult people in your life may actually be your greatest teachers. Think about that. The person who challenges your patience, the person who tests your emotional control, the person who seems impossible to deal with. What if they are helping you develop a strength that comfort never could? A sword is sharpened through friction, gold is refined through fire, and emotional mastery is developed through challenges. Without difficult people, how would you learn patience? Without criticism, how would you learn resilience? Without frustration, how would you discover your inner strength? This does not mean you should tolerate abuse. It does not mean you should remain in harmful situations. It simply means recognizing that every difficult encounter contains a lesson. And once you start looking for the lesson, anger begins to lose its power, because growth becomes more important than blame. Wisdom becomes more important than resentment, and peace becomes more important than revenge. This brings us to the third monk habit: seek understanding before judgment. Most anger is fueled by assumptions. We assume we know why someone acted a certain way. We assume we know their intentions. We assume we know their motives, but do we really? Imagine meeting someone who appears rude and impatient. Your first reaction might be anger. But what if you discovered they had just received devastating news? What if they were carrying pain you could not see? What if they were fighting a battle you knew nothing about? Suddenly your anger might transform into compassion. Monks train themselves to remember a simple truth. Every person is carrying invisible burdens. Every person has fears. Every person has wounds. Every person has struggles. When you remember this, judgment begins to soften. And where judgment softens, anger often disappears. The next time someone upsets you, try asking, what might this person be going through? You may never know the full answer, but the question itself creates space for compassion. And compassion is one of the most powerful antidotes to anger. There is an ancient Buddhist story about two monks traveling together. As they walked through the countryside, they reached a muddy riverbank. A young woman stood there, unable to cross. Without hesitation, one monk carried her across the river. The woman thanked him and continued on her journey. Hours later, the second monk was still upset. Finally, he said, "We are monks. Why did you carry that woman?" The first monk smiled and replied, "I left her at the river hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" Think about those words. How many people are you still carrying? How many arguments? How many insults? How many disappointments? How many moments from years ago? Many people spend decades carrying emotional burdens that should have been released long ago. The event ended, but the anger remained. The situation passed, but the resentment stayed. Monks understand that carrying old anger only creates new suffering, and perhaps there is something you need to put down. Today, perhaps there is someone you need to forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Forgiveness is not saying what happened was acceptable. Forgiveness is refusing to let the past continue, controlling your present, and that freedom is priceless. There is also a powerful connection between anger and manifestation. Many people spend years trying to attract abundance, happiness, and success. Yet, they remain trapped in cycles of resentment and frustration. Think about the energy anger creates. It narrows your focus. It drains your attention. It keeps your mind attached to conflict. Monks understand that where attention goes, energy follows. When your attention remains locked onto anger, you give your energy to anger. When your attention shifts toward gratitude, purpose, and growth, your energy begins moving in a new direction. This is not about denying emotions. It is about refusing to build a permanent home inside them. Feel the emotion, learn from it, then let it move through you. The river remains clean because it keeps flowing. The mind remains peaceful when it does the same. Before we continue, I want you to imagine something close. Your eyes, if you can. Picture yourself standing beside a calm river at sunset. In your hands are stones. Each stone represents a piece of anger, a grudge, a resentment, a painful memory, a disappointment. Feel their weight. Notice how heavy they are. Now, one by one, gently place each stone into the river. Watch the water carry them away. You do not chase them. You do not retrieve them. You simply allow them to go. Feel your hands becoming lighter. Feel your shoulders, relaxing. Feel the space opening inside you. Now silently repeat, I release what no longer serves me. I choose peace over resentment. I let go of unnecessary anger. My heart is becoming lighter. My mind is becoming calmer. Take a slow breath and another. Remember this, feeling. Because every time you release one burden, you create room for more peace. And in the next part, you will discover the final 2 monk habits, the deepest lesson about acceptance, and the powerful affirmation sequence that can completely transform your relationship with anger. There is a lesson every monk eventually learns, a lesson so simple that many people overlook it, yet so powerful that it can transform an entire life. The lesson is this: you cannot find peace while fighting reality. Think about how much anger comes from wishing things were different, wishing people were different, wishing the past had unfolded differently, wishing life had followed your plan. The mind says, this should not have happened. They should not have treated me this way. Life should be easier. But reality remains unchanged. And while reality remains unchanged, anger continues to grow. Monks understand something extraordinary. Acceptance is not surrender. Acceptance is clarity. It means seeing reality exactly as it is before deciding what to do next. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm. You can spend hours arguing with the wind. You can become angry at the rain. You can demand that the sky change immediately, or you can acknowledge the storm and respond wisely. One path creates suffering, the other creates freedom. This is the 4th monk habit. Accept reality before trying to change it. The moment you stop fighting what already exists, your energy becomes available for meaningful action, and meaningful action changes far more than anger ever will. There is another habit that separates peaceful people from angry people. It is surprisingly simple, but it changes everything. Gratitude. Most people think gratitude and anger have nothing in common. Monks know otherwise, because the mind struggles to hold deep gratitude and deep resentment at the same time. Think about the moments when you felt truly grateful. Perhaps you were watching a sunrise, spending time with someone you love, enjoying a quiet moment, feeling healthy, feeling alive. In those moments, anger tends to disappear. Why? Because gratitude shifts your focus. It reminds you of what is present rather than what is missing. It reminds you of what is working rather than what is wrong. This does not mean ignoring problems. It means refusing to become blind to blessings. Every evening, many monks practice a simple ritual. Before sleeping, they reflect on 3 things they are grateful for. 3 simple things. Not because life is perfect, but because gratitude trains the mind to see clearly. And a mind trained to see clearly becomes far less vulnerable to anger. This is the 5th monk habit. Practice gratitude daily, even on difficult days. Especially on difficult days, because gratitude slowly transforms the emotional environment of the mind, and where gratitude grows, anger struggles to survive. Imagine yourself 10 days from now. The same world may still exist around you. Some difficult people may still be difficult. Certain problems may still require your attention. Life may still contain uncertainty. But something inside you has changed. You pause before reacting. You release unrealistic expectations. You seek understanding before judgment. You accept reality before resisting it. You practice gratitude daily. And because of these habits, situations that once controlled you no longer have the same power. You feel lighter, calmer, more centered, more resilient. Not because life became easier, but because you became stronger. This is the true purpose of monk wisdom. Not escaping life. Mastering your relationship with life. If these teachings have resonated with you, I want you to participate in a simple exercise. Go into the comments and write, I choose peace over anger. Write it slowly. Write it intentionally. Not for me, Not for the algorithm, for yourself. Because every time you repeat a positive truth, you strengthen it within your mind. And while you're there, share your experience. What triggers your anger most? Often, is it criticism, disrespect, uncertainty, family conflict, work stress? You may discover that many others are walking the same path. And sometimes healing begins when we realize we are not alone. As we reach the end of this journey, remember something important. There will still be moments when anger appears. That is part of being human. Even monks experience emotions. The difference is that they do not become prisoners of those emotions. They observe them, learn from them, and allow them to pass. Peace is not the absence of emotion. Peace is the ability to remain grounded while emotions come and go. So when anger returns tomorrow, do not judge yourself. Do not become frustrated. Simply return to the practice. Return to awareness. Return to the breath. Return to wisdom. Again and again. Because transformation is not created in a single moment. It is created through consistent practice. One calm response at a time. One mindful breath at a time. One peaceful choice at a time. Now take a slow breath in and a slow breath out. Allow these final words to settle deeply within your heart. Repeat them silently or aloud. I am not controlled by anger. I am stronger than my reactions. I choose awareness over impulse. I choose understanding over judgment. I choose peace over conflict. I release what I cannot control. I accept life as it is. I trust myself to respond wisely. I let go of resentment. I let go of unnecessary suffering. My heart is becoming lighter. My mind is becoming calmer. My spirit is becoming stronger. Peace flows through me. Wisdom guides me. Patience strengthens me. Compassion protects me. Every day I become more calm. Every day I become more balanced. Every day I become more free. I choose peace. I choose peace. I choose peace. Take one final breath. Feel the stillness. Feel the clarity. Feel the quiet strength within you. It has been there all along. If you enjoyed this journey, consider subscribing and joining our growing community dedicated to mindfulness, wisdom, inner peace, and conscious living. And remember, the strongest person is not the one who defeats others. The strongest person is the one who masters themselves. Until next time, protect your peace, trust your path, and walk forward with a calm and open heart.